NBA, those type of guys, and some celebrities. We have an invite out to Larry the Cable Guy to make it a little fun. And,
Oh, that would be funny.
Oh, wow.
So
Yeah.
anything to swing, and he was good. Jim Furyk, nobody wants to swing like Jim Furyk.
Almost like she was playing whack-a-mole.
Yeah.
She was on the golf course and anything.
It's out there, and I love being outdoors, and it's also a challenge to see this little white ball. And
wanted to know too is in these days and times we've seen, because you were a quarterback and you did play baseball, and we see a lot of these current quarterbacks right now that have played baseball or may have been drafted initially as well too, and they have this high intense run game, and it's all about the wild throws and the running games. And do you feel like that's something that's being, obviously it's been happening with Russell Wilson, Patrick Mahomes, Kyle Murray. Is that something that you think has been helpful for these guys in playing with another sport? Or do you think it's something that just they have natural talent that's just kind of developed?
Well, I've been a high school athletic director and a high school coach for 20-some years and everything else. You need to play multiple sports. Mm-hmm. Do not specialize. Okay,
you heard it here.
You get in a groove, and it's just not good for you.
Mm-hmm.
Be balanced. Be a multiple sport athlete. You can learn a lot of different things that really help you and you grow.
Yeah.
And to do that, so I was always a big fan of, doing multiple sports. And you're just seeing these guys nowadays that the game has changed and everything else that they're allowed to do more.
Gotcha.
The rules of the NFL are such now where the athletes can be athletes
and do what they,
it wasn't like back in my day that we weren't athletes, because Steve Young and John Elway and these guys, they could run, okay, and we could all run, but the game was built different,
right?
The game was built different and it was played different, and the rules, the way they've adjusted it to make it a more viable product on TV has been great, because you see great athletes and they're allowed to be great athletes, which is a lot of fun to watch.
Now, I don't know if you are aware of this, but they just made an announcement tonight with the NFL and the CBA's new agreement as far as extending not only the weeks of football, but also extending the amount of teams that can join into the playoffs. So it basically takes the wild card element out of it a little bit.
From what I saw, there's going to be 7 in each division. Right. So there'll be only 1 team from each division that has a bye, and then there'll be 3 games on that wild card weekend instead of the 2. So I think it's just another way to get another team into the playoff scenario, which is good. It looks like they're going to expand to a 17-game schedule. So, that's all better for television. That's what drives the game. So you have to look at it that way.
And I'm all for having one less preseason game.
Oh, amen. Amen. Preseason's the worst.
The first game of the preseason, you're like, all right, great, we're all back. But then you're like 3, and then the 4, and then by the 4th, no one's playing.
Well, no one's playing because you don't want to get them hurt for the start of the season.
Right.
And, so you're throwing these guys out there to play this game, and everybody in the front office is praying they don't get hurt, because they know they want to get rid of them.
They know something's going to happen.
Because you can only keep so many. So why go through that, futility of going through that exercise? You already know. Let's cut it down and make it go. And so I think it's a good thing.
That's wonderful.
So you went to UCLA.
I did.
Played there. And then you went pro. And then the first team you were with was with the Washington Redskins.
Correct.
And I want to talk about that really quickly, because they're having some kind of dysfunction as far as, the team.
That is
not
a
even
gentle,
for the name. I'm trying to be nice, but
that is a gentle way to say it.
Not even just for the name controversy alone, but just within the organization. What do they need to do you think, to kind of get
Should I be honest with you?
Please be honest, but no swearing if you have to. We'll just speak it out.
Okay, what they need to do is just have the owner write the checks and shut up.
Okay. All right.
He meddles way too much. Okay.
We know about meddling owners. I feel like somewhere down south they got a meddling owner that kind of interferes a lot too.
Right. So he needs to just back off. I think they made a great hire in Ron Rivera.
Okay.
And if they allow him to run the organization and take care of the football side, I think they're in the right direction. But Daniel Schneider, I'm sorry, it hasn't been good.
Good.
He's tried to meddle with things, and it just hasn't been good. So, and I go back there every year to the reunion, and it's a sad state. So I think Ron Rivera is a great hire in D.C.
I don't think he should have been let go even when he was at Carolina, honestly.
I don't think so either. But here again, here's my take. Any coach that's get to that 10-year mark, and it gets old.
Right.
You need a fresh you need something fresh. So I get that. The guy that can the coach in one spot for 20 some years, the Shashkevskis and all that, more power to him, because that's a grind.
Yeah.
And you get to be in the same place, but man, some of those, it gets old hearing the same things all the time. But so more power to him. But I think Ron Rivera is a great hire in Redskins, and hopefully he can get it turned around.
What is your feeling? Because before we let you go, we enjoyed having you here. Now that you've got your events that are coming up for the NFL draft, what's your thoughts about, just A, with Las Vegas finally having a team here, and then B, the draft coming to Las Vegas, having been part of the drafts before? I mean, what do you expect, and what do you feel is going to, kind of, I guess, be the calling card here for that?
Well, here's my thought on a team finally coming to Las Vegas. We've all known forever and ever, Las Vegas has been the center of the sports capital for everything. I mean, let's be honest, okay? Everything comes through Vegas, right?
Right.
And I really have to give a shout out to the NHL and to the Knights for being the first team to step out and say, hey, let's go. Well, not only that, but I got to give a bigger shout out to the people of Las Vegas embracing the Knights.
Oh, yeah.
And doing what
and
they
become
did.
a hockey town.
And become a hockey town in the middle of the desert.
Right.
And just the way they've embraced it. Now you got the WNBA team
Yes,
here.
the Aces.
Now you got the Raiders team coming.
Mm-hmm.
I think it's phenomenal. I think it's a win-win for everybody and all that. I think the draft is a spectacle, which is going to be phenomenal here in Las Vegas. They're going to walk across the fountains out there in front of the Bellagio.
I know. These little boats are going to pull up to this red carpet.
They're actually building a walkway.
Right.
They're going to build a walkway so they can walk in front of it, and they're going to bus them over to Caesars and everything else. So
I can't wait to see this happen.
But, the people that I've talked to, they say on any given weekend there's 300,000 people here in Vegas, and they expect another 500,000 coming for the draft. Can you imagine? So being downtown, it's going to be a zoo, but it's going to be fun.
Oh, it's going to be a great zoo.
It's going to be a great zoo.
The Raiders are the host of this whole thing. So not only will they have a setup area over by the link for the Raiders, but they'll have their trophy room where we see our 3 Lombardi trophies.
Right. And here's the thing that, is really exciting, because that'll be the first time that anybody will hear Las Vegas Raiders.
Yes.
Officially.
Yes.
That'll be pretty amazing.
When the commissioner comes out and, says,
and especially for these people that have been born and raised in Las Vegas.
Yeah, it'll be something special. So it's going to be great to be a part of it, and it'll be a lot of fun that whole week.
So with you, after that whole thing with the Washington team that you're playing with, you went on to a better team, which was the Los Angeles Raiders.
Yes.
Raider Nation. Let's talk about it a little bit. As far as your tenure there, what was some of your biggest highlights that you liked, and what were your dislikes? And as far as the fans go, what did you think as far as how those fans will transition over to here in Vegas? Will it be that same energy, or do you think they kind of are not going to be here, or what do you think?
Well, as far as the fans, let's address that to begin with. The fans in LA, you had your hardcore Raider fans, just like you had in Oakland and everywhere else. They're going to be the same. They're going to show up here in Las Vegas. No doubts about it. Okay, they're coming. Raider Nation is coming. The other fans in LA wanted to be entertained.
Okay.
Entertainment capital. That's what they want.
Right.
So they could come and go at different times. If you played well, they show up. If you didn't play well, they didn't show up. They were that tight. So we were very fortunate. We had a lot of good teams. We made some runs. We got to an AFC Championship game. I stunk that game. I get it. It was a bad time to
Any given Sunday, right?
Right.
It was a bad time to have a bad game, but and all that. And I heard it from my kids at the time that were 6 and 8. Like, hey, Dad, why are you throwing it to the other team? Hey, it's not because I wanted to.
Right.
But it just happened. So but the Bills were very good at that time, and we were playing in Buffalo, so a lot of things had to go right, and it just didn't. So that was that part. I loved being in LA. I went to high school out there, so it was fun to go back. I got to play. My family got to come to the games and all that. So it was a blast.
Awesome.
And I got traded. To go out there to play for Mike Shanahan. Unfortunately, Mike Shanahan and Al Davis had some disagreements on how the game was supposed to be played. Al wanted the ball to be thrown down the field all the time, throw it as far as you can. And Mike wanted to use sideline to sideline. So then Art Shell came in and
Good old Art was
there. So we got back to throwing it down the field.
And that's what I also want to talk about, too. It's a difference in ownership with Al Davis, because Al Davis was that type of owner, too, where he was very in the mix very controlling to a certain degree. Put you a lot in the mind of Jerry Jones and what Redskins have going on.
Yeah, but you can't put him there. You can't put him there for this reason. Okay. Al Davis was a coach.
That's true.
Al Davis coached the NFL.
Yeah, he
that
did.
became an owner. Football was his business. He wasn't somebody else that ran a business that wanted to meddle in football. There's a world of difference. Al Davis knew what he was talking about. He knew the ins and outs of football. He's been there. He'd been through the grind. He was the coach. So when he had stuff drawn up, it made sense. It's not like, hey, some guy coming off the street that's running IBM for a while. And, hey, let's try this.
Right.
So that's how you have to separate it, and you have to look at it. The owners that meddle now are business guys that think they know football. Al Davis knew football that became an owner. So that was a whole different way of looking at it.
And that's why he gets the Al.
That's why the Al. That's why we call the Allegiant the Al. Like, we're not even saying Allegiant. I'm saying the Al. That's what it is of our Raider fan. That's what we say.
And you have to understand, not only, was he looking after Raiders, but he was the merger.
Yeah.
He made the merger between the AFL and the NFL come together.
That's major.
Yeah, to bring us to what we have today. So very instrumental in the game of football, and phenomenal guy to play for if you understood that he was a coach. And that became an owner.
Are we having an earthquake right now? I swear there was like
maybe it's Al saying like, I'm here.
He's
maybe
like, hey, I'm still here.
I can feel his presence. I can feel his presence.
There you go. Yeah.
Jay, thank you so much for coming.
Yeah.
Oh, you bet.
But let's recap the events that are going to have. We definitely want to have you back, hopefully, before the events take place. So we're talking about NFL Draft Weekend, which is April 23rd, 24th, 25th.
Yep.
And then the events will be on what day?
Well, the Westgate Celebrity Classic will run all those days. There'll be a couple of parties on there. Then the Celebrity Classic will be on the 25th and 26th on the weekend.
Okay.
The Celebrity Grudge Match with iLifestyles and all that is going to be on the 24th on that Friday, and there'll be a bunch of guys playing in that. And that's going to be a fun tournament, a charity tournament, that everybody can come out and play with. So there's all kinds of stuff going on.
Well, do you want to
come on, Max?
Yeah.
Yes.
Come on.
Just come in real quick. Tell us
Right.
about the grudge match, because that was one of my questions I really wanted to know. I'm sorry you kind of got in a little late, but go ahead and throw these on real quick.
That's okay.
Come on, Magali.
I'm out here.
Come on.
That's all right.
Yeah.
We just
Going up and
tell us a
down.
little
I
bit
know.
more about what the grudge match is going to be.
So the grudge match actually started in August of last year when Denver played the Raiders, the first opening game. So it's all about the Raiders playing against their rivalry teams.
Oh, okay.
And so we did a Raiders versus the Denver Broncos, then we did a Raiders versus the Chiefs. And now we're doing this one during draft week.
Oh, okay. So is it? I mean, it's just what is it? It's golf.
It's golf
Okay.
and an after party afterwards.
Oh, okay. I wasn't sure if it was like a flag football, if it was something. I didn't know what we were
it's
talking
golf,
as far as
and
grudge match.
Magali's got a bunch of players coming in for the week that she handles and all that, so they'll come in. And who do you all have confirmed?
Yeah, we've got Mervin Fernandez.
Swervin Mervin, who caught a bunch of passes, and one of my guys, so he's coming.
Doki Williams, Ron Brown.
Doki goes back to my UCLA days,
Wow.
all that good stuff. So.
All right.
Willie Galt.
Yeah.
Willie Galt's okay.
Yeah, see?
Yeah.
See? So,
That's going to be some legends.
So all that'll be happening on Friday.
Okay.
And iLifestyles and Magali will be putting
Wonderful.
that together. So there's all kinds of stuff going on. So
Man.
If you want to get involved, there's no shortage. Come get involved, man.
Okay.
Come
We
get
will.
it.
We're in
Yeah.
it. We're in
And
it.
we want to have you on again right before that, if possible.
Yeah.
And since we know
So
that
let's
you're
stay
out
in
here now, we'll
contact.
stay in
Yes.
contact with you.
Yeah,
Yeah,
let's do.
And I mean what I say about the Raiders edition. I want to do a special Raiders episode.
Well, that's
have
good.
you on, have some of my peeps on, and we just talk Raiders.
Sounds good.
And that'll be a time when she goes on another
Can
trip.
we have
which
some of
might
the
be
guys from the Raiders? Mervin and
Absolutely.
Mervin?
Yes, we
Yeah.
want.
We'd
Yes.
love to promote
Yes,
it, so.
absolutely. Absolutely.
We'll plan it
a
out.
lot of them like to talk, so it's okay.
Yeah, that's all right. That's
So that's what we do.
And I'm
we
going to listen
chat.
too.
We
I'm
chat.
just taking it all in. This
I
is
do.
such
I
an
do.
honor.
I do have one request. though.
Okay.
Next time I come, I can't be any of that bulls. I mean, what is that?
Can be. I know.
You allow that in the studio?
You know, Michael Jordan's birthday was just
And the
yeah,
All-Star
yeah.
was in
Chicago.
Chicago.
She's a
I'm a
Bulls
longtime
fan.
Bulls fan.
She's also a Seahawks fan. We'll
Yeah.
just let it all go. She's from Seattle. Okay.
Hey, we
Okay.
beat Denver for you.
Thank
Yeah.
you.
Okay.
Thank you.
Yeah, we'll
That's
take
always
that.
a good thing.
Yeah.
Oh, look.
And I've got Steve Largent.
Steve
I've
Largent.
got
See?
Steve Largent coming down.
Oh, you do?
Steve
Okay.
Largent.
Let's bring Steve
Oh, yeah.
on.
Let's have
Yes.
that. Let's do that. Let's
He'd
do
be
a
in the
split of that.
Okay.
So
Thank
there
you
you
guys
go.
All right.
so much. We really
You bet.
appreciate
Thank
Well,
you.
Jay, it's been an
guys.
honor. And
We'll
just,
stay in touch.
an awesome time. Thank
Sounds
you
good.
so much.
Thank you for having
All
me.
right. Like, I'm excited. Like, we got a Raider in the
know,
building,
right?
man. A Raider.
It's like one of Mo's dreams.
It is one of, and a quarterback at that, you know. And we talked off air a little bit about Derek Carr, and he had some great things to say about Carr. And where we, you know, I had speculated if we were looking for another quarterback, it'd be Teddy B that could come, because people have been talking about Teddy B. And thank you. And I was telling Jay how it was kind of like a lateral type of position. Lateral type of position, and how we, you know, you just don't know what you're going to get with that. You just don't know.
No.
Because their stats pretty much match up. They both were draft picked in 2014. Teddy B was in first round. Derek Carr, second round draft pick. I mean, their passing percentages are exactly like just little percentages off. But they're both exactly the same style of quarterback.
I like Teddy B for you guys.
I like Teddy B too.
Let's get a let's.
But
next
I like. Yeah,
let's keep the show rolling.
Yeah, we gotta keep it going. Girl Chat Sports, you're in with Mo and Mel.
Yes.
So without further ado, we have another guest that's about to join us. I'm so excited about this guest as well. I gotta get up and get my cell phone because I feel like I'm lost without my phone.
Sorry.
Because people could be chatting to me and having questions for this next guest. They probably had questions for Jay.
Have a seat.
And if you have, what'd you say?
I said you could have just asked her to hand me the cell phone.
I didn't want to say it. I was messing up my flow.
Oh, okay.
Because I was about to get into.
No, I just messed up your flow by.
Yeah, you did. But I just wanted to know what you had to say. It's all good.
That's all.
But you guys can call in too to us,
Yes.
702-608-3259. That is the number. It's also on the screen. And this is my first time meeting this lovely lady.
Both of ours.
Both of our
but
first
we've
time.
been following her.
But I've been following her. You've been following her. And we have a mutual friend that shops with me at Nordstrom. Shout out to JC. Because I love JC. He's like, that's my guy. Sweet guy. He always told me about you. And he was like, you got to meet Roqui. You got to meet Roqui. So I know he's amazing. So I was like, finally, without further ado, we have Roqui Theus,
yes.
daughter of UNLV basketball legend Reggie Theus, in the building right now, in the studio, who has, you've moved here by way of Bay Area. So she's new to Vegas, and I'm just super, super, super duper excited that you're here and that you took the time to talk to us. And we wanted to just have this new fresh face of Vegas that's on Las Vegas Now. Shout out to Las
Women
Vegas
in
Now.
Sports and
Women in
Women
Sports,
in
Channel
Media.
8, Sports Media. And you host a show on Las Vegas Now with Laura. Laura, what's her last? Lindsay Girk.
Lindsay Girk, JC Fernandez,
Yes.
and Mercedes.
Mercedes and JC in the morning on 94.1.
There's a couple of them.
Check them out. Yes, that's right. Lindsay. I was
You
trying
threw
to
me
think
off.
of
I was like, Lord, wait. I know I haven't been here long, but
you know what? I was thinking Laura because JC's wife's name is Laura.
oh, that makes sense.
So
Yeah.
I had that L thing going
that
on.
makes sense.
Okay.
That makes sense.
But without further ado, we have Roqui.
Hello.
Roqui Road as your nickname, I heard.
Oh yeah, that used to be like my old little hashtag. now it's Rockin' Vegas.
Yeah. So we changed it to hashtag Rockin' Vegas.
Yeah.
So tell me a little bit about yourself. We know who your dad is, so and all that great stellar stuff, but we want to know a little bit about you.
Yeah.
I know with your dad being an athlete, you were also an athlete. You attended UC Irvine.
I did.
And what sport was that you were playing?
Basketball, naturally.
Basketball, really?
Naturally,
For some
yeah.
reason, I was thinking volleyball.
I did play volleyball
Okay.
in high school. I was pretty serious about it. I was a middle blocker, 6'1", so it made sense. But
Shout out to the tall
So
one.
you got the
Yeah,
height
we
on.
love that. We
Yes.
love that.
Yes.
But I loved it. It's actually one of my favorite sports. But basketball was just
Called you.
inside of me.
Yeah.
And it was a passion about it that I just couldn't let it go. And I wanted to play in college. So I transferred from my little private school in Palos Verdes. I'm from LA.
Mhm.
And I transferred to Inglewood High School.
Okay.
And I got my, public school experience
Right.
with the magnet school program on the campus. It was a great little program, dual program. And I played for Inglewood, where my dad also played. And I ended up getting recruited and getting a scholarship to UCI.
Now, what position did you play when you were playing basketball?
4. I was a forward, small forward.
Okay.
Yeah.
Because your dad was a shooting guard.
Yeah, he could shoot it. He could run the floor, shoot. He could play point. He could do everything. I could not. Okay, and I'm okay with that. Yeah, I was mostly the really athletic, fast forward. Yeah,
Awesome.
our center was like 6'5".
I was going to say
Yeah.
6'1", and you were the 4.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, I was
Yeah.
the running gun forward. She was the body.
Wow.
Wow.
Yeah.
Okay. Very
love
cool.
it.
So, what prompted you to make the move back to Vegas?
Yeah.
I know you were in the Bay for quite some time.
Yes.
You were working for some stations out there. You were actually doing traffic for one of the stations.
Yes,
And then
I
you
was.
did a stint working in Reno for a while, working for a station there. And what brought you back to the Theus in Vegas kind of thing?
Well, I mean, I've never lived here.
Right.
I've always come here my entire life, obviously for my dad or my family, and then also my best friend. Her family comes here once a year, and I would come with them.
Okay.
I have traditions.
Everybody
here.
comes to Vegas,
yeah,
right?
I have Vegas traditions. I've never been here longer than a weekend before I moved here, which is weird. But yeah, so what brought me back was the opportunity I got to work for Las Vegas Now, and it was one of those things. I was back home in LA after my first job was in Reno. I was there for 2.5 years. I call that my grad school because I did everything in the newsroom. From there, I went to Good Day Sacramento as their very first Bay Area resident Bay Area reporter.
Wow.
So that's me in the Bay, and that was dope. I got to basically had my own show in the Bay for Good Day Sacramento.
You're like,
and it was
hello.
playing on. There was a simulcast because
Nice.
it was Super Bowl 50, so we wanted to do a whole simulcast.
I
with
went out
CBS.
there for Super Bowl 50.
Yeah, I was there. We probably crossed paths. So I got really, it was just divine how that happened. So I was able to move to the Bay Area for 3 years, did that for a year, and got recruited by CBS San Francisco, and they made me their morning traffic anchor without traffic experience.
I wanted to ask you.
I never mentioned I've done traffic. No, that was my first time. And when you just believe in someone or you want someone on your team, you put them to the test. And I'm used to that. I'm here for a challenge, and I did it, and I did it for a while, and I grew a lot in that position. They made me an anchor in the top
That's
5
awesome.
market at that point.
That's
During that time.
That's
Yeah.
major.
Yeah.
That is really major.
Yeah.
Especially at a young age, too. And I'm not
Right.
going to disclose your age or anything like that. But,
I
you know,
turned 31
we don't-
in January.
Okay,
I'm okay with
hey,
it.
shout out, Melanie.
Yeah.
Yeah, man, listen, we don't age for anything.
You
I
know,
love it.
we
Yes,
good.
keeping it golden. I love it. So, since you're here and you're working on Las Vegas Now,
Yeah.
I noticed that you also got to interview quite a few people just for your short stint from November to now.
Yeah, we've been busy.
Yeah.
This month alone has been so busy with reporting, because I also do reporting on top of hosting. I'm their only full-time talent.
Wow.
So I'm in the
Okay.
field live, or I'm in the field doing a story, or I'm hosting live in studio.
Oh my
Wow.
God.
So yeah, we've had a lot of guests in studio, outside studio. It's fun.
Now, being that your dad used to play for the Bulls and some other teams, like Orlando Magic, just to name a few,
The king.
and the Kings,
The Bulls.
the Bulls,
I
of
see you got your
course, the Bulls.
crew neck on.
Because you went to NBA All-Star break
I did.
and you went with your dad.
Oh, you guys really do follow me on Instagram.
Yes, we do. We're checking you. We're checking you.
We do a little
Tell
research.
us about that. How was that? Because Chicago's cold, and that was just a weird time to have the
Yeah.
All-Star
Yeah.
location be in Chicago. I was like,
But it was
what's going on?
colder than usual.
It was
I think,
very
there,
cold.
too.
Yeah,
It
it was
was-
like minus and some change.
Yeah, there was one day where it was like 1 degree.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
We were in
That's
we were in the single digits.
Yeah,
We were like, no.
we were in the single digits. And I'm from LA, so
There's
I'm
no
in Vegas
jacket
now.
warm enough for that.
That whole biting cold environment is not for me. But it's also really nice to grab a cute coat and and bundle up. And,
I love cute
and
coats.
take advantage of some winter vibes,
course.
because they're temporary for us, right?
Yeah.
So it was good. I enjoyed it. It was quality time, first and foremost, with my dad. I was his date. He was mine.
Aw.
Yeah. So we went together, and I saw some friends there, some colleagues. So there was some networking too. You know, you go to a couple parties, have some fun. But the best part about it was being with my dad.
And how did that feel when you go to like the Legends games and then you go to
The brunch,
in
the Legends brunch, yeah.
and see like highlights of your dad when he played for the Bulls and that kind of. How's that make you feel? Like, do you feel like you still get the butterflies, or feel like I can't believe it's my dad, or
Yeah.
just kind of that awestruck thing?
Yeah, I think the stories people tell me are more are more shocking, but no. When I see him playing or a photo, I just am overwhelmed with pride. I'm so proud. I just look at him like, wow, you really did that. Like you really, and I've watched him over the years evolve too, which is just incredible. He continues to reinvent himself. He went from playing to broadcasting to acting to coaching. He found his passion in coaching, and back on broadcasting now. And it's just, I've just watched him evolve, and I'm just so proud. of
Oh,
the way that he's been able to
Come around full
make
circle.
make life work for him.
Yeah.
You know, it's hard as an athlete to finish playing and figure it out from there. You know,
And how was that growing up? Because you have siblings as well.
Mhm, mhm.
And he even, as soon as he was done with his NBA career, he went overseas. He played in Italy and
Yes,
all of that.
I was there.
You were there for
Yeah.
all of that. Okay.
Mhm.
What was that like? Like just,
I have vivid memories of Italy.
Okay.
My grandma was with us.
Oh, nice.
Yeah, I went to an Italian school.
you speak any Italian?
Yeah, no.
Just checking.
Ciao, Bella.
Ciao.
But yeah, so I was there, and it was cool. I have memories of being with my family out there. I don't have memories of him playing basketball, obviously.
Right.
But yeah, I look back on that. I remember him pushing me on the swing in the snow, and he told me, "Rocky, don't let go." And what do you think I did? I let go and I flew across
Why
the
listen?
snow
There's
in
no
Italy.
reason to do
Listen,
that.
we'll test it out.
He'll never
Believe
let
it.
me live that down, and he'll never let me live the fact that I didn't listen during my basketball career either. You know, He's just
What
like,
advice was he giving you in the basketball career that you were not listening
oh
to?
man, practice more. He would try to take me to the gym in high school and middle school, and I'd be like, no, Dad, I just want to go shopping, or
Like,
just being a preteen
Right,
or being
right.
a teenager, and he would always tell me, he would give me the best advice, but he would leave it up to me to listen or not. He always lets his kids kind of do their own thing or really follow their own heart. He'll tell you what's right.
Right.
It's just a matter.
Like learn from your own mistakes.
Yeah,
See
exactly.
how
He kind of just lets you flow, and at the end of the day, I respect that because I am my own person, and I'm my own person outside of his legacy,
Right.
and I'm building,
Yes.
what I want to build, and I have that foundation because I look back like, he was right, and that's how that advice that I didn't listen to back then, I listen to now.
Does
Well-
he have tips for you now that you're, here in Las Vegas, or because obviously your last name is known probably a lot here as well because of UNLV? Has he given you any advice as far as the Vegas life or living in Vegas? That
Oh, you know what's funny? He actually called me today, just randomly. He was in town when we came back from Chicago. He came to Vegas to see some colleagues, and he called me randomly. He said, "Rocky, I love you. What are you doing?"
No.
And I said, "I love you too. Yeah, I'm at work. What's up?" He's like, "I just wanted to tell you, I was driving through Vegas, and I just want to remind you, when you stop at a, when your light turns green,
Yeah.
you
Wait.
make sure you wait
Mm-hmm.
for the other cars,
Right,
and
because they will
the
run that
opposite
light.
part of the intersection because they run the light."
Mhm.
I was like, "Yeah, Dad, I knew that, but thank you for reminding me."
Sound
Well, mind
advice.
you,
Sound
Thank you
advice.
thank you for reminding me. So there's one thing, he'll do like little
But
dad
mind
things
you,
like
you
that.
did traffic for a while, so I think you would know when you report accidents.
But that is a quirk, I guess, unique to Las Vegas that
Oh,
people have to
yeah.
be warned
oh
about,
yeah,
right?
you do. You do.
Yeah.
Yes.
Mhm.
So he'll do dad things like that. He'll call me with that kind of advice. But otherwise, I guess his advice is just to have fun and work hard.
It's good.
That's really, he'll say that more profoundly, but
Right.
in
Yeah.
a nutshell, that's what it is.
Well, I think it speaks for itself because
Yeah.
your resume is just quite extensive for the,
Oh,
the time that you've done in your career.
Thank
And I
you.
just want to ask you too, because being a black female in media and the journalistic integrity that goes with it. And, there was controversy. I know you've heard about this because you even did it on your segment about the Gayle King interview. We
Yes.
talked about it. We touched on it a little bit. We really never got a chance to get into it because so much stuff was going on.
Yeah.
Right.
But the Gayle King interview with Lisa Leslie, what are your
Yeah.
thoughts as far as that interview goes? And then the questions that you were getting asked personally from your segment with Las Vegas Now and being on there.
Well, I interviewed her about the Grammys.
Oh, okay.
Right before.
okay.
Yeah, actually, you asked me a while ago about the special guests we've had on the show.
Yeah.
She was one of them. Very
Oh, wow,
recently.
okay.
Yeah, and so we did a satellite interview, and we had so much fun. Our conversation was great. We were talking about the Grammys, and then that bombshell of news happened.
Right.
And she did her Lisa Leslie interview, and I saw the clip, and I was shocked.
Mhm.
I was shocked at the way or the tone of the interview. As a journalist, I know that you have to ask those kind of
Tough
questions,
questions, yeah.
but there's a way to ask them,
Right.
And granted, the way they edit it might have taken away from her intentional tone. So I can't 100% judge it because I haven't seen the full interview. But yeah, the tone was off, and it threw us all off. But that's not who she is as a human being. We can't just completely cancel her, as a human or as a journalist based off of that. That's what I believe.
Okay.
We can't cancel Gayle King. We can't cancel her out. The cancel culture is it's aggressive sometimes.
It is. We're quick to cancel a lot of things.
Yeah, we're quick to cancel.
And then we don't cancel the right thing.
Right. Exactly. But no, I have a lot of respect for Gayle King, obviously. Could the tone have been different? Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
And those follow-ups were just super inappropriate.
And that
that's
is
what I
all.
think what
That
made
is
it
all.
worse. It wasn't the fact that she
we
didn't
get
ask
that
the
you're
question.
asking the question because it's Lisa Leslie. She grew up with him in LA.
Right.
Basically, we get
Right.
those. But why were you following up with these things that were just so?
It was like as if there was an agenda.
It was almost like a combative.
Like she wanted a reaction.
Like she wanted a reaction.
And I'm just like, you don't do that.
Yeah.
And
that's what I mean by tone.
Right.
It's the tone of your questions and the tone of the follow-up questions. It's all cohesive, and it all kind of seemed like there might have been an agenda, but
Lisa held her ground.
She held her ground. She
Man.
handled that so
She
well.
did what she did.
I respect Lisa Leslie for her response and for basically shutting down any kind of challenging or negative talk about.
Right. And people always think, I think, when they think about the journalism aspect, is that, well, you've got to get that topic. You've got,
you gotta throw
we
it
know,
in there.
we know it was recent. We know Kobe's death was recent, but we still got to talk to somebody about it. Let's make it her. But then you don't think about, it's not just, Kobe's wife and the rest of his family that are mourning. It's the entire world. And especially one of his good best friends. You can't, it's hard to just come up to somebody and like, let's talk about your friend that just died.
I know. I thought about how would I have dealt with this? How would I have thrown the question in there or the topic in there without sounding negative?
Now, do you prep for your interviews with your guests? Like, are you saying, like, I'm just giving you forewarning, this is what we're going to talk about, this is what I may ask you? So they're not really set up. Because I felt like Lisa Leslie probably knew that discussion might go there.
Sure.
And was prepared for it, too.
But not some of the things she was saying.
Well, the co-signing thing is, that kind of just throws a thing. But she's a professional, so she handled it.
Yeah.
But do you ever feel like when you have your guests that you have to interview that you're prepping them as well, and you don't mistakenly throw any curveballs or any of that kind of stuff?
I think it's important to talk to your guests before you get in there. Also, with our show, sometimes we'll have whole conversations before the actual interview, or they'll send in a write-up of what they want to talk about, and you'll go off of that. So really, you can't go off. You can't really throw a curveball if you have an idea of what they're trying to talk about. But and for the Gayle King interview, we were talking Grammys, so you're pretty much prepared for that too,
right?
But I don't go in with the idea that
I gotta
throw them off. I gotta get them. I gotta
right.
get them. That's not the kind of journalism that I'm into. But
good,
yeah,
good, very good. So let's talk about Las Vegas now, because it seems like a fun
Let's talk
show.
about it.
You and Lindsay and JC and Mercedes. I mean, they have all balls of energy.
Yes.
And I know there was one episode, I don't know if it was near the Valentine's Day time or it was about the time of the Bachelor show or Bachelorette, that Lindsay was trying to set you up.
Oh no! Oh no! That was definitely.
Now, did that throw
January.
you? Yeah, did that throw you? Did
that
throw you a little
I
bit
wasn't prepared for that one.
I figured.
I wasn't prepared for that. But that's what happens on the show. Is you just have a conversation, and naturally it goes into what you have to have on the show as a host is quick wit, right? You got to be ready. You got to be, you got to be funny. You got to be engaging. So, she got me. She got me with that one, and it was fun because we had been talking about we should do a dating game or something like that on the show, and we ended up not doing that because our show was so packed. Our Valentine's Day show was so packed with so many special guests and fun. It was great, but she said it's time to get you on some Vegas dates, and I was like, I
don't know, Vegas dating
is
is
tough.
yeah. Tell me
Not
about
the
it. You
easiest.
guys have been here. You guys have been here.
Listen.
Warn me. Give
No,
me
I'm
some
not
advice.
worried.
What's
I
up?
mean, what you see is what you get.
Oh gosh.
I'll just leave it to you like that.
Listen.
It's a tough road. But now
Why is
That's
that
a whole
though?
other. That's a whole other.
That's a whole
episode.
nother-
I know we're going
bring
off.
you-
We're going
there's
off
no,
on a
so
tangent.
much. It's just
we're gonna bring you back on. Don't worry. We'll
Dating
have you
is
for a full
another kind of
hour.
sport.
we'll have to have a dating.
Dating
Yeah.
is another kind of sport. Right?
It is
And
another
it really
kind of
is a sport.
It
Because
is.
you need to have like a bench. You need to
Yeah,
have like a starter.
Yeah, you got your roster.
Really, they disappear fast. They go away. They may never be there. They could be a false impersonation. Everyone to come here thinking they're somebody or wanting to be somebody and really not just being themselves.
Well, I would say it's the city now, and I'm born and raised here, Rocky.
Oh,
so
okay.
it's the city now where the made up of a microcosm of degenerates and lowlives that come here and reinvent themselves to a certain degree.
Interesting.
But it follows them. The trail still follows. You can only reinvent yourself so much because now you come into a 6 degree of separation. When people find out you've moved to Vegas, then everybody comes to Vegas. It just seems to be that kind of train.
Yeah.
But I digress because the dating thing is just
I know.
crazy.
Listen, it's a sports show. Shoot your shot. That's all. I gotta say.
Yeah. Just shoot
your
and
shot.
don't miss. And
Shoot
don't
your
miss.
shot.
You
Yeah.
know, don't miss.
Well, that's the thing too. So I think, and then I'll end it at this: is that I think both male and female have some kind of sensitivity to like being turned down. Well, guess what? It's not a big deal.
Fear
Like
of rejection.
you just got to deal with it and move on. Like don't take it. So I feel like that you come across guys and women that are both like, oh, I don't want to shoot my shot because the fear of rejection. Well, people get rejected all the time.
Yeah, exactly.
Keep going.
That's something they got to work out through their therapist. Moving right along. Who is your team? Because your dad played professionally first with the Bulls. So who's your favorite NBA team? That's what I want to get to the nitty gritty on. And you were at the All-Star break and you saw a lot of players and you saw a lot of events.
I did.
What?
My team? I'm from LA. You got a Lakers shirt on.
That's all
so
I
you
need to know.
understand.
That's the case
That's
closed.
all she was fishing for it. She
Is
was
that what you
fishing
wanted?
for it.
Okay,
That's what I
no,
wanted. That's what I wanted.
I love going to and I don't come after me after I say this, but I even love going to Clippers games.
Yeah.
You know,
I would too.
They're cheaper.
They're
I'm
cheaper.
with it.
They're more exciting to watch with the squad that they do have, if you will.
Uh-oh.
They are a high-flying circus
turn your
act.
mic off.
Listen to where I'm going.
They're not more exciting than the Lakers. Lakers
Oh
have
my
the
God,
best
they
record in
are.
the league.
No, they're not.
We do.
Quan wanted to all of a sudden appear real quick.
Listen, they are a high-flying circus
I'm
act
taking all these-
that won't go
Take 'em all down. Take 'em all
that
down.
will not go anywhere.
Can't sit there
Yeah,
anymore.
they're exciting to watch for those that think they like high-flying circus acts. If Quan would let me finish, because that's what they are. And even with the squad that they do have, I don't feel like they're going to get anywhere far.
Yeah, well, you know.
Quan.
What do you feel about Magic saying that they're more stacked right now?
They could be stacked all day. We're stacked too.
But Magic, Magic Johnson,
Magic
the
knows what
Magic
he's
Laker,
talking
needs his
about.
was
phone
talking
taken
about,
away at
hey,
times because he's not the best at tweeting. He tweets everything, and sometimes everything he says is not
saying
golden.
that.
You know what
I
I
He
mean?
thought that
also
was
said
like-
Lonzo Ball's jersey is going to be hung in the rafters.
Yeah, he said that too.
And,
Yeah, I mean, take Magic for what it is. He's not solid as weight in gold.
Oh, man.
Now,
What about football?
I
Do
just
you have a football
realized
team?
we're live.
yeah,
Oh, yeah, we're
yeah. Wave to the audience. Yes. Yes. Who's your football team?
Oh,
You're moving to Vegas, so
Oh,
tread light
no.
on this answer.
listen, I don't have a football team,
Okay.
so now my football team is the Raiders.
Thank you, girl. I got a new best friend in the
There we go.
studio right now. She loves the
I
Lakers.
mean, I also lived in the Bay Area, so I've been to Raiders
Thank you.
games.
Thank
I
you.
know the energy. I love the culture, so
Thank you.
I can claim Raiders.
Oh, you have
I'm
San
good with
Francisco
that.
49ers over there, and you also have
Yeah.
Golden State Warriors. And I
love the
respect-
Warriors.
I like the Warriors too. I respect them as
Went
a
to a
team.
lot of Warriors games.
Okay, but I am still a diehard LA girl.
Yeah.
And so
There's a vibe in Staples Center.
There is
that
a vibe.
You just can't get anywhere
No.
else.
You
And
Yeah,
cannot.
it's called being late and not cheering.
Oh.
whatever.
Well,
Let me tell you something too about these Clippers. You know why I say also the game seem exciting, because they're borrowing off of roommates of being sharing in our.
Hold on, real quick. We got some sounds from Key Arena.
Ah! Well,
Love
Kieran
it.
has won 3 championships with the Seattle Storm, so I'm just saying.
Really?
no, I met Liz Cambridge, by the way.
Oh, you did?
I
Yeah,
did
we got to
at
talk
All
to her a couple
Star.
times.
I
Yeah.
met her. She is so dope.
Isn't
She is.
She's someone I've admired before I even moved here. I follow her. She's just so versatile, and I have so much respect.
So
for
we'll
her.
see you at Aces.
Yeah.
games this
Yeah,
year.
yeah, for
Yeah.
sure. I would love to cover the Aces games.
Oh,
She
I
said she's
think
gonna
you
give me
will.
a courtside, so
Good.
I'm trying to
Yeah.
say courtside at the Aces.
Yeah.
Legs out extended.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yes. Tall girls unite. Well, too tall. I'm 5'7", so
I'm
I'm a little short.
Well, that was one of my
How tall are you?
questions.
How tall are you?
5'10".
Oh.
But that's my question is being in media. I mean, I know sometimes it's hard enough to have men take you seriously, but also when you are towering over them at times too. Do you find that there's they give a hard time as far as conducting interviews or trying to like have them take you seriously at some point?
That's a good question. It's funny because sometimes I'll take my shoes off.
Yeah.
Yeah, because I'm a boot girl.
Yeah.
I wear boots all the time.
Okay.
And they might have a little heel on them.
Sure.
So I might take my shoes off just to, even aesthetically, just so it doesn't look crazy.
Not crazy on the camera view.
Yeah. But I have had a couple guys like just won't let it go. They're just like, oh man, you're gonna make me look short. Blah, blah, blah. Like, okay, do you want me to take my shoes off? And then they're like, no.
Should I crouch down? Like, what do you need?
Yeah,
we can get you a box to stand on if you want.
Right. It's something that is definitely a topic of discussion on a lot of interviews with men and women.
Yeah.
But they like it.
Yeah.
I mean, it's cool.
Yeah. It's always just a topic that they're like, whoa.
Yeah.
You're like,
I feel like they should just appreciate it and value it, because I look at the guys that dated models in the past. They were all shorter than the model. Like, when you just feel like, hey, I got a model on my arm or
likely
something.
because they brought some other things to the table.
But then they get so in tune with like, being pretty and being tall that they're not really concentrated on the content of what you're asking them.
Yeah.
Well, that, I come to my interviews very professional. My personality's there, but the professionalism is there too.
Right.
So, off top, you're going to respect me.
Yeah.
So if you're attracted to me, that's fine. But, it never becomes a problem. It never becomes a problem. And being in media with the photographer as well, you always kind of feel like you have that protection.
Good.
You're with your photographer. It's not just you going into strange places. I feel respected.
Good.
And plus, you go in there knowing your stuff. So when you come in with facts and what you're talking about, they're like, "Oh, she's real. She's serious. It's not no play."
Also, it's about making them feel comfortable, right?
Yeah.
That's something I take seriously, is making people that I'm talking to or interviewing feel like they're just with their friends chilling, just hanging out,
just chatting,
chatting,
like we're chatting right now.
Just chatting. This podcast setting is what I want to bring into the field or into TV. It's just very casual, and that's what Las Vegas now is too. We're just having fun.
I'm just mad that I work, so I never get to. I work during the daytime hours, so I don't get to ever catch it like that, like live.
Oh no, it's great. It's a great show. JC actually had me on one time for the fall fashion with Forrest Griffith, the UFC fighter. So I had a really good time in your guys' studio. So
you have to come back.
I will have to come back. Yeah, I definitely. We will have to come back.
Yes,
let us be guests on the Las Vegas. Let us sit with you and Lindsay and talk fashion and sports and everything.
And fashion and sports.
Absolutely.
Right?
We can do that.
Yeah.
Have your people call my people.
Okay, sounds
Exactly.
like that. Sounds like a plan. So we got a fight coming up this weekend. Do you have a pick as far as it's Deontay Wilder, Tyson Fury? This is the rematch, if you will, the unfinished business fight going down at MGM Grand. They're both undefeated. They got really chippy this afternoon at their second press conference to the point where one was calling one Big Mama. Another
They
one
were
was
at each
questioning their
other's faces.
and
Shout
one
out
was
to Gorilla
questioning
Cross with some great footage.
Great footage from that. And Mike Dixon at LV Sports Daily as well. Have you been following to know what's going on? No,
I'm not gonna say. Yeah, I picked no. 'Cause I have
And
not
that's
been
okay.
following
and
that.
that is okay.
Totally okay.
But I love boxing. And
you guys
that's as far as I go.
And this is heavyweight. This
It
is
is
like
a
the
heavyweight,
big guys.
yes.
That's what I love about it.
WBC
Like, these guys
heavyweight.
are 6'6", was it 6'9"?
Yep.
And you said UFC.
No,
No,
boxing.
WBC.
Oh,
Yeah,
WBC.
WBC
Okay.
boxing
Yeah.
championship.
Okay.
Yeah.
So it is boxing.
Yeah.
Just make sure I
But you
was
got to
on the
interview
right road
Mia
with
St.
it.
John, who's a
I
female boxer,
did, I
5-time
did.
champion.
Ooh.
That's awesome. How was that?
She is such a beautiful woman in spirit. She's got such a great energy about her, and you know what she's gone through.
Yeah.
So
she's
you
got a
look at
story.
her and you feel for her, but you also are inspired by her because she keeps going and she gives back, and she's kind of making that now her fight is mental health. So what she's doing for communities is great, and she's a great spokesperson for that cause.
Nice.
For that cause. Yeah, she was really cool.
Cool.
Yeah.
And then I saw you throw an elbow
Oh,
on one of your
listen,
videos. You were doing a self-defense. It was women's self-defense episode.
Yes.
She had a sharp elbow. Listen.
You don't want her blocking you out. You don't want her blocking you
I
out.
may or may not have teeth marks on my elbows. Okay, I may or may not have teeth marks on my right elbow. That's my claim to college
Your
ball.
first battle-born
That's my
injury.
battle wound.
Yeah.
You know,
Oh my gosh.
I'm a post player.
Yeah.
Our elbows are our
Gotta get down.
weapons.
Yeah.
Low key. You gotta be slick with it though.
So what's the future hold for you? What is the next? What do we
Ooh.
want to do? Do we want to write a book?
Man.
Do we want to? I see book. I just see you doing big things. But what do
Yeah,
you,
thank you.
see yourself as far as your future self? What would you like to?
You know what? I see a book. Wow.
Why
I
not?
would totally write a book.
Yeah.
Writing is my passion. I will
Oh,
write.
right.
I will write a
Nice.
book. I will do that. But I just see myself. You know, I love my current position with Las Vegas now, and if I can do something like that for the rest of my life, I'm happy.
That's amazing.
You
That's
know?
great.
I'm happy. It's entertaining, but it's also informing. It's uplifting. It's inspiring. It's also personally fun and inspiring. So if I can do something like that, I'm good with that.
And it looks like you love what you do.
Yeah,
That's what everybody
yeah.
says.
She
just
lights
love
up
what
as
you
she
do.
talks
I love
about
what I
it.
do.
Like it's
Thank
just
you.
amazing. You just have a glow of like
Thank
I
you.
really enjoy it. And you, like I
Yeah.
said, you got a great crew with you. They're
Yeah.
all time people.
Yes.
So
And
it's
then
pretty
I do.
awesome.
Being now in Vegas, is there somebody that you've seen that's locally here or maybe is coming here with a show wise that you would love to interview? Like where are you wanting to interview here?
Ooh,
Is there anybody in
Want to
particular that you're like,
interview.
yeah.
I want to interview. I've done Shania.
Oh,
Ooh,
wow.
I did Sarah McLachlan today.
Nice,
Actually,
yeah.
she
Oh,
was really sweet. She
nice.
was really sweet. When I stood up, she was like, "Did you play basketball?"
You're like,
I was like, "Yeah, I did. I did. Yeah, I used it for something." Who else would I would love to interview J-Lo.
Oh yeah, that would be a
man.
good.
That would
one.
be a hot. That would be a hot
Yeah,
get.
that would be
I would want to just be like, can we go in the gym for a session?
Yeah,
Just show me
right.
your routine, please.
that is exactly what we would want on
Yes.
our show.
Yes.
Gym time with J-Lo. Yeah, I can't.
Yeah.
I've interviewed Shin Lim. Have you guys seen his show?
No.
His magic show.
No.
He won, I think, America's Got Talent.
Okay.
Okay.
Correct me if I'm wrong.
Did he do any magic with you?
Yeah, we did a whole segment, and he blew my mind. Him and Colin Cloud, they do a show together at the Mirage.
Oh, nice.
Oh.
Okay.
Yeah, so check it out because listen, I'm still stressed from trying to figure those
Magic
tricks
be
out.
creeping me out.
Well, I
sometimes.
saw Seafried and Roy back in the day before
Yeah.
the tiger incident, and they made an elephant disappear off the stage, and it's still mind blowing on
It-
how they made that
it
elephant disappear.
lingers.
It does linger, and I ask people questions like, "How did
How?
that big
Where did
elephant
it go?
disappear off the stage?"
Was
Yeah.
it real?
I want to know.
It is incredible what they do, and Shin Lim will tell you it's not magic for him. It's sleight of hands.
Okay,
You know,
sleight of
so
hand.
he's quick with his hands, quick with it.
Okay.
I'm
Quick
sure he would have
hands.
been able to handle the ball really well in his day, but yeah, no, that was I've been getting a really great diverse palette, I guess you could
Oh,
say,
good.
with the people I'm interviewing here. And what I love about the show is we get to do the entertainment, but I also love interviewing like community organizers and people who are doing things
in Las Vegas.
in Las Vegas, you know, off the strip and outside of the entertainment
Which is what
world.
the locals really do want to know.
Yeah,
They want to know
yeah.
more about that, not the, just
And
the
do you feel
regular-
there's a sense of community here in
I
Vegas since
do.
you've moved here?
I do.
Okay.
There is a huge one, and it's stronger than I ever thought because, like I said, I would come here for weekends and be done.
Right.
But so when I got here, I started to realize quickly that Vegas is a community. It's a growing, it's a thriving community, but also there's already a really strong foundation. We just didn't know about it. It's kind of like the best kept secret. It's you come here and you have the strip, but you also have
the residential areas.
residential areas,
all the areas.
suburban areas.
Right.
You have the best of both worlds here. So
Yeah, because
I
people
really
always
love it.
assume that you live in Vegas, you're on the strip. I'm
Right.
Like,
Yeah.
nobody lives.
Or
Yeah.
your parents
Well,
work in
and
casinos, or you don't
also
live in city.
I
Or
can't
you-
even say it's the best kept secret because people move in here left and right all day long from LA,
Yeah.
from everywhere.
Yeah.
So they know now. They know now.
So have you checked out our boys and our women's basketball team as far as the Rebels go?
Oh, not yet.
Not yet.
No.
Okay, because
No,
your
I haven't-
dad's
I
jersey
haven't
is
been able
hanging
to.
up there in the rafters at 10 a.m.
Yes,
for
it
sure.
is. Yes, it is.
One of
and
eight
I was
players.
there.
You should have like an honorary
was
seat
there.
there somewhere.
Right.
I should.
You
We should talk to them about
Yeah,
that.
we gotta talk to
You
her about
know,
that. Why
I need
not?
courtside seats at UNLV games and Aces games.
Hello.
Yeah.
And Raider games.
Hey,
There's
you
no
know-
courtside at Raiders.
On
right
field
there
pass.
on the field
Right,
pass.
on the
You'll
field.
probably have that on the field pass.
Yeah, let me
I
get
think
my
that's
media
gonna be good.
pass.
Yeah, I think you're good on that too. And we're
Right.
just gonna tag right along. Like I know
Yeah.
Rocky.
Yeah,
What's
they're-
Rocky?
We're all together
What's
here.
up? Good. Okay.
We're all
Rock in
together.
Vegas, Rock in Vegas.
That's right.
Yeah.
So where
Uh-huh.
can everybody find you on the social
Yeah.
media?
So at Roqui Theus, I keep it real simple for everybody.
Okay.
At Roqui Theus on Instagram, on Twitter. You can follow the show Las Vegas Now at LV Now TV on Instagram. At Las Vegas Now on Twitter. And yeah.
And for those that are listening, it's ROQUI.
Yes.
Yes. I know people think rock and they're like, oh, RO. No.
Yeah, no, I'm not a puppy.
Nope.
Not a boxer.
Now, is
Even though I
Rocky
love
short?
boxing.
Is
I'm sorry?
Rocky short for
Yes, it's short for Raquel.
Raquel?
I was
Okay.
named after Raquel Welch.
Oh,
which-
really?
yes, I'm not mad
That's
at
not
that.
bad.
I'm not mad at that
No,
either.
uh-uh.
But my mom, she really just named me that just to call me Rocky.
Now you're the oldest.
I've been Rocky since birth. at
Rocky
this
since
point.
birth.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah.
Now are you the oldest out of your siblings?
I am.
And then you had a
I'm the
brother
oldest
that-
out of 3.
And then you had a brother that went to Yale.
No,
Oh, he didn't go
a
to Yale.
cousin.
A
that
cousin
went
that
to
was a
Yale.
cousin
Yeah.
on your picture.
Yes,
Oh, I thought it
yes,
was your
yes,
brother.
yes.
I was about to say,
People-
man,
people
beast
think
all in
that.
the family.
People think
yeah,
that.
I was like beast all in the family. Still
Yeah.
beast all in the family.
Yeah, I actually
Yeah.
have a surgeon, a surgeon cousin. His
Nice.
brother, he went to Yale. Tommy, so the surgeon is Taylor. Tiana is out here running productions in LA.
Nice.
She's working for The Bachelor now.
Oh wow.
Yeah, my brother and sister are doing their thing. My brother's 25, sister's 21 at U of A.
Okay.
So, yeah.
Oh,
all
you
right.
okay.
You a vet? Huh?
I've got a lawyer cousin.
Yeah.
I'm proud of my family.
Your family is doing some big
doing some
things.
things.
Yeah.
All of it. We're all so versatile, and so
Yeah.
and that's a testament to my parents,
Yeah.
and to all of our parents and our grandparents. They've really raised us to be our true selves, and so that's I think what my message is. When
Would that be your
going
message
into-
for the young ladies that are up
Yeah.
and coming to be authentic and be
Absolutely.
themselves?
Absolutely, that is my
Okay.
number one message.
All right.
Yeah,
Love
Thank you
it.
so
it's
much
gotten me
for-
this
yeah.
far.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You can
like,
you can
yeah.
get
Hello.
paid to be yourself,
Right.
And to love what you do. So
And to do traffic with no experience. To be
Right.
now and that
was
is where
funny. They were like, we're just going to throw you in the traffic. And
Yeah.
you're like,
Like,
what?
okay.
and that's where that resilience and
love it. There you go.
Man.
hard work comes.
There
from.
you go.
I'm telling you.
Going with the flow.
Wow.
Going with the flow. Exactly.
Rocky, it's been an honor and a pleasure.
Oh,
and I
same,
thank you so
same.
much from your busy schedule because I know
Yes.
we were kind of chatting back and forth. You chatted with
Yeah.
Mel a little bit. You chatted with me on the Instagram
Mhm.
about, let me check my schedule. Then I realized I saw your Instagram and you were out of town. I was like, oh, she may not be able to come on.
Oh, no, I was
But
gonna
when
be
you
back.
responded, I was like, yes, girl, yes.
Thank
We're
you.
ready to
Yes.
have you.
I'll come back anytime.
We've
Oh,
got
we
to.
love it.
We've
We've got
got
to.
to.
We've got
This is
to.
fun.
We've got so much more
We'll
to talk
stay in
about.
touch now.
Yeah,
We're now
for sure.
friends.
Yeah, we're
Yeah.
friends now.
Yes, we
so
are.
see you guys like outside of podcast.
course.
world,
Oh,
too.
yeah, of course.
We'll
Hey,
invite
listen.
you out.
Yeah, I'm new to town, so you got to
We
show me
gotta
around.
show you
got to show me
out.
where to go.
Man,
The places to go. For
we
sure.
got to tell you. We got to show you the scene.
All
For
right.
sure. For
Thanks
sure.
so much.
Thanks so
Hey, you
much.
guys, we are out of here. It's
Yes.
been quite an episode. We thank you for joining us. Make sure you stay tuned. Follow us, subscribe, share the podcast.
Yes. Share.
And
Share
we're
is
out.
caring. We're out, guys.